Welcome back everyone to FSL Wild Rift Open 2. And I'll be your sole shoutcaster right now. I'm Infinity. Unfortunately, Tash Bunny has to do something important. But I'm here and we're going in for the semifinals between Grindsky Eris and Pizza Team. This is already the semifinals wherein Grindsky Aries is the first seed from Group A, wherein they dropped no games, 0 games in Group A. And for Pizza Team, they only lost against GGTY. But aside from that, they won every single other games. It's really exciting to see how this would turn out. And just a quick trivia onto Grand Sky Areas that they are the Southeast Asia Games representatives of the Philippine region. So it's going to be a banger. It's going to be exciting. What can we expect from these games? I absolutely have no idea. Especially right now, we're playing in the patch 3.1b, the live servers already. So the buffs, the nerfs, everything in between is already being implemented on this tournament right now as we speak. So we'll see how this turns out as we jump into the draft pretty soon between Grand Sky Aries and Pizza Team with Ziggs, Galio, Irelia banned away, Yumi, Karma, and Camille for Pizza Team. So Jace is open, Galio is not open, but Seth is open for Pizza Team to pick up. And just a trivia that Jace is probably the most flexible pick that you can get here in the Rift alongside with other champions such as the Gragas as well, because Jace can be flexed in the jungle, can be flexed in mid lane, bot lane, top lane. So really flexible pick here, but since the Lulu is open, Pizza Team can now pick it up. And what's good with Lulu? It's pretty much Kaisa, Vayne. All these champions are really good with this champion. So there's still an option for Pizza Team to pick it up. But Jarvan 4 will be there for them to have this lockdown potential, as the Cataclysm is really a huge viable option when it comes to team fights, locking down onto certain champions and forcing out flashes from the opposing team. And with that said, Grand Sky Aries will now be answering with the Sinjao. And this is not really the most expected pick when it comes to the jungle, but Sinjao in the recent days is underrated. The amount of projectile hits that it denies from the enemy team using his ultimate Crescent Guard is really important. And considering that you have a Lulu from the opposing team, this could be an option for them saying, you know what, we'll pick up the Sinjao and be a champion that can rely on the ultimate if ever it comes down into a Lucian pick or something that produces a lot of damage from a distance. So definitely something that Grind Sky Ares is going to do here. And now Riven to follow through for Grind Sky Ares as they want to pick this up. And I think Riven is one of the flexible picks as well when it comes to WCS Philippines, as it has been flexed in the jungle, it has been flexed in the mid lane as well. So really great start here for the first couple of picks. The first 3 picks from both teams are great. Although Jarvan 4 is something that I'm thinking about, like what will be the synergy that we can think about when it comes to a Jarvan 4. The Flag and Drag will be a great weaponry for Pizza Team though when it comes to level 3. So expected at level 3 for Jarvan 4 to be visiting mid lane or bot lane. But now when it comes to the bans, we have a Morgana and a Senna ban coming in from Pizza Team, considering that Grind Sky Ares still doesn't have any support. For Grind Sky Ares, they're looking to ban away the mid laners that has huge potentials to set up the team fight, which is Orianna, one of the most evergreen champion here in the Rift. Orianna can be that flexible pick when it comes to providing shields for his team, providing movement speed, and at the same time being that huge engage with the shockwave. So banning it away is something with huge respect against Pizza Team along with Ari. However, with these 2 champions being banned, you have the Gragas open for Pizza Team to pick up. We talked about Gragas just a while back when it comes to just engaging, and its ability to engage and disengage on team fights is going to be a huge value for Pizza Team. Right now for Kaisa, what will that pick be, as Caitlyn will be locked in? A champion which doesn't really shout the current meta in WCS Philippines domestically in the region. Didn't see a lot of wins. It wasn't the best pick in the ADC role, but consider the Grindsky Eris will be picking it up. The utilization of this poke composition will be of huge value, as right now Pizza Team has one last pick remaining. Could potentially be the mid lane still, as Gragas could be top lane if ever Pizza Team do decide to go for this specific role to be on top lane. And with Diana being locked in, expected Diana mid lane here for Pizza Team, matched up against the Jace for Grindsky Eris. And for the supports, it's Janna and Lulu. ADC, it's Lucian versus Caitlyn. In this draft, it's a semifinals. It's Grindsky versus Pizza Team, matching it up for game number 1 for FSL Wild Rift Open 2022. And of course, shoutouts to the sponsors and partners of this event, Yahoo and Intel. Thank you very much for supporting this tournament, as it would haven't been possible without you guys. And 20 seconds for both teams to be able to prepare what they need to. Skills, spells, the runes. We're jumping soon for game number 1. We're jumping soon here in the Rift. And some notable players to take note of for Grindsky Eris is Less of You, their ADC. Having this Caitlyn could be a potential star player here for Grindsky Eris, and for Pizza Team, something that we need to look at would be their Dragon Laner plus Babby, their jungler. Two of their highly mechanical players here for Pizza. Something interesting that I'm looking at right now would be, it's the mid lane matchup, as Diana will not really have the greatest of times up against Jace because of the pokes that will be available in the mid lane. So we'll see how that would turn out, as right now we're jumping into the Rift for game number 1 of the semifinals of FSL Wild Rift Open 2 between Grindsky Eris and Pizza Team once again. The first couple of seconds in this matchup, it's Pizza Team looking to go for a support. And then for now, if ever something happens, something occurs, they could support really quickly. But Ray is now in trouble. It's a 2v1 as Zanisha is just punishing Ray. The brink of death with only 1 bar remaining on his HP bar, but considering his HP is that low, he could just utilize his range potential as a Jace to be able to impact and just farm freely against Diana in the mid lane. And for now, we're looking at damage items here for Grindsky Eris to start this off. They have long sword across 4 members of their team: One Heda, Angelai Lila, Ray, and Less of You to have extra damage in the early game. And for Gia, you also have the Magic Book to deal more AP damage if ever it comes down to it. And with Caitlyn and Janna being in the same lane up against Lucian and Lulu, you have a lot of pokes to be able to utilize. But as we stated a while ago, Jarvan 4 at level 3 could be expected to go and visit a lane, especially with the flag and drag available for himself. But One Heda playing very safely, go back easily up against Pizza Team. And for now, they're going for the trade 1-for-1 when it comes to Rift Scuttlers. They don't want to go for a contest, as Ray doesn't really have any prio here in the mid lane, considering the early engage coming from Lulu and Zanisha. But right now, it's Angelai Lila coming through into the mid lane. Flag and drag knocks up onto the jungler. As the first blood comes through for Pizza Team, getting that solo kill onto One Heda. No kills for the mid lane though, so great response there with a 1-for-1 on top lane, as One Heda takes it back in the first 2 minutes. However, with the first blood coming into knock, have the 200 gold lead up against One Heda. Not really greatest of leads, but still quite considerable, since we're talking about the Baron lane. Now One Heda talking about 2v1 fights. One Heda looks to retreat as Babby is there to respond. It's a 1-for-1. Now Angelai Lila just gets demolished with the Cataclysm for Babby taking that kill. And now Gia goes into the mid lane. Something expected in the past in the professional scene or in the support goes into the mid lane. So if ever an objective comes up, a quick response could be let through. So great roam here from Gia. First couple of minutes. Right now, something interesting that I'm looking at for Grindsky Eris is we're expecting a 3 Black Cleaver for GS as they got the Phage plus the Ruby Crystal in the first 3 minutes of this matchup. So an expectations for it against Pizza Team. When it comes to sustainability will not match. You could have hoped so. Black Cleaver gives you extra penetration, gives you a lot more shred up against Pizza Team right now. And with Caitlyn having the BF Sword as his first item, could be a Storm Razor for herself. Now 2v1, or 1v1 rather, in the mid lane, Ray up against Anisha. Trading some damage, but once again, the Rift Cutler. Going to be something that Grindsky has their eyes locked on with the Infernal Drake up. One of the most important objectives in this matchup, or in the Rift. Going to be started immediately by Grindsky Eris since Pizza Team is just now resetting. Now Babby, tad bit late to the party with Grindsky Esports putting their HP now down to half HP. And now Grindsky secures the Infernal Drake. Pizza has to return back to safety. But Babby has the Guardian Angel, so if ever they want to go for an all-in, they could force out fights because of the safety net that Babby has. And now with Infernal Drake being taken by Grindsky, Pizza Team is patting themselves way up to the Rift Herald to get the 1-for-1 objective trade. And with Angela Lila not being close or nearby, Pizza Team will get the Rift Herald uncontested. It's a 1-for-1 when it comes to an objective trade. Lucian is left standing here in the bot lane and matching it up, defending that tier 1 turret. So no tower being taken so far for Grindsky Eris and Pizza Team. Rift Herald spawned already on top lane, looking to punish 2 lanes at the same time. Mid lane, top lane. This Grindsky is able to defend it so far when Hedda just jumping right in. The Rift Herald getting that charge, but not enough to punish it. So far, Pizza Team will not secure that turret, and Grindsky is looking safely here in the first 5 minutes of the matchup. However, 2 kill deficit already for Grindsky at the moment, but not really that far when it comes to the gold deficit here for Grindsky. Now with 3 Black Cleavers already unlocked for Hedda, Angela Lila, and Ray. Expect a little bit more fights in the next couple of minutes, with Storm Razor already secured as well for Caitlyn. Now Diana, Pre-Man looking to kill her. Zanisha is in danger. Now Tornado coming from Gia knocks him up, forcing out the flash from Zanisha back into safety. So Summoner Spell advantage for Grindsky. Now Pizza Team looking for the Tower First Blood as they pat themselves with a 2-man roll on top lane. Ponheda is in danger, uses up the flash to go back to safety. Trade for the Cataclysm. Now Angelila looks for the other side of the map. Looking for the kill, looking for the trade up against Lucian, but will not be able to do so as they still have the flash, they have the exhaust if ever it comes down to an all-in here, as Pizza Team is now going for the 2-man roll mid lane. Moonfall going to be great, going to be flawless as Ray is under the turret, but Pizza Team just forces this out, but Ray gets the trade back with a 1-for-1 as Gragas went in, stepped too far ahead under the turret. Angelila going to get all the aggro, going to get all the damage coming from Pizza Team, uses up the barrier to stay alive for a bit longer from GS skill set. Not be able to secure the kill, so that will be the 2-for-1 in favor of Pizza Team. And right now, Pizza is looking great and fantastic in this early game. Now, what is coming from Caitlyn? And the information getting the damage out onto Lucian. But for now, expectedly, and when it comes to Lucian, this will be their hyper carries later on. With Gragas driving 4 will be the peel of Lucian from Pizza. We have the funnel in gold. Stormrazor already secured for both ADCs from both teams. And look at Babby hatting themselves into the mid lane with the Angelila being there as well. She cannot force some fights immediately into the mid lane. So if he does, it's going to be a counter engage from Grindsky Eris. With that said, Grindsky is doing fantastic here. They're playing very safe. They're not forcing out fights, considering that Pizza has the advantage in the first 5 minutes into the matchup. Now with the Cloud Dragon being available, Grindsky is looking for the engage, looking to contest how Pizza team wants to go for the dominance onto the Dragon Pit. As Pizza gets a Scar's Bloom, has the information that Grindsky is taking that Cloud Drake. But they're turning! And now it's Sinjao going for the Crescent Guard. Will be able to secure the Cloud Dragon. Pizza team will lose the opportunity to get that steal. And now with the split fight, it's Grindsky Eris fighting against Pizza on the hill. Now looking for that mid lane. Gets the pick off onto Lulu. That's a triple for Grindsky. Now with the mid lane open, they can force out and open up the mid lane. Map control is going to be open as well. Now the sniper is talking. Let the gun speak. As Less of You takes another kill in the mid lane. And now it's a nice third takedown from Grindsky Eris as they open up the mid lane in their favor. However, Rift Herald going to be the next point of contest here for Pizza Team as they pat themselves here onto the Rift Herald pit. Babby is here though. No information from Grindsky on top of the hill. And now it's Babby. What's Knock? They're here and ready to fight. Knock has the explosive cast. Their ultimates for the remaining team for Pizza still loading. Calling is ready though. Not gonna be enough time. Pizza will lose that opportunity once again. Grindsky Eris is taking every single objective away from Pizza. It's a 3 out of 4 objectives secured by Grindsky so far. 1 Rift Herald, 2 Dragons in their favor, while Pizza only able to secure 1 Rift Herald for their team. Right now, it's Angelila going to the front lines, matching up against Lucian, but with a Wild Growth. A lot of safety net there for Lucian in mid lane. Now looking at the opposite side of this matchup, it's Pizza team looking to struggle to defend the tier 1 turret in top lane as Grindsky secures another turret in their favor. In the mid lane, Angelila is here to save the day, defending the mid lane. Gia from the backside looking for the flank. The knockup is there. Heda is coming through to follow up. The smite will slow him down, will give him a true damage, and that will secure the kill once again for Grindsky as Less of You is looking for another kill as just the Dream forces out the flash over the wall. The poke will not be able to connect. Gia coming through with a flash. Will secure the kill, but Knock is there to counter engage. Zanisha is there. It's a 2v2. Heda, great stun. Moonfall already forced. Not gonna be enough to put them back to safety. That explosive cast will just be there. Deny further engage from Grindsky. They taking everything down from Pizza. They're eating each slice one by one here in the semifinals. And in years past, Grindsky Eris was consistently top 3 in FSL. They're consistently one of the best teams that FSL Wild Rift has produced. They're currently here battling against Pizza Team as well, looking to contest the title that Grindsky has built over the past months, over the past years here in FSL. And just a quick trivia as well, that Pizza Team, right now, this roster, this team, it's the first time that they're playing here in FSL Wild Rift Open. It's their first time playing here in this magnificent tournament, and right now they're playing even footing up against Grindsky Eris. Zanisha though, to be in trouble as Grindsky Eris is in enemy territory, in enemy jungle. And Pizza has this information, but Knock onto the flank as Ocean Drake is available. Pizza team has to deny this, because if they don't, it's more sustainability for Grindsky. Gives them Omnivamp for each player for Grindsky. Now Delilah going to the front lines, leading the charge. Explosive cast already used. Last of you down to half HP. Redemption will bring back a little bit more HP back. Now 1v1 and Delilah looks to engage, looking for the flank. Look at one Hedda just jumping right through into the backside, but Less of You already dies as Pizza Team just shreds him down. A double kill ready for Zanisha. It's now Pizza. Just a great counter engage that Grindsky Eris is doing up against them. And with those 2 kills, they can start to looking great in their favor. Without the jungle for Grindsky, it's going to be a breeze for Pizza to take it down. That dragon is going to be important for them, as it will give extra sustainability coming in from Lucian. But now Ray comes in looking for the contest as Pizza looks to get the Ocean Dragon. So in trade, it was a kill. It's a 1-for-1 as Ray dies, and Babby also dies from the opposing team. Very low. When Hedda and Gia is also low, they have to retreat. They have to go back away. The Baron Nashor is alive if ever. When Hedda and Gia dies, Pizza can go directly onto the Baron Nashor. But for now, they're looking to back away. Despite Pizza Team being able to take a lot of these kills in 13 minutes off that matchup, Grindsky rather still has the 2k gold lead, a dragon objective advantage up against Pizza for the semifinals. And they're now just playing towards the waves. They have to clear the lanes to be able to shove it against the opposing team. Lane prio at this stage of the matchup will be very crucial for both teams, as the one who gets the Baron Nashor will gain the advantage if ever you have lane prio. Great vision there for Pizza Team though. I like how Babby is just getting the flag onto the Baron pit, being able to get that vision in, as there's no ward there for any single team at the moment. Now when it comes to Ray, he's all alone on the top side, and she understands she's on the weak side of the map, so she has to go back away. Because Lulu is there and the Gragas is there as well. So no one's forcing out fights for now. Everyone's playing for safety. And what Ngok is building is not AP damage. He's going for a Bramble Vest. She's going for Deadmans and Sunfire Aegis to be able to gain more defensive capacity for his team. As we stated a while ago, Lucian will be the hyper carry of Pizza, as Diana, as Jarvan 4, as Gragas will be the engager, will be the initiator for Pizza. So the only thing that they're relying on right now would be Lucian to be able to impact when it comes to damage output. What Grindsky can do is just go to the back lines, as so what Hedda did just a while back. Right now, Gia down low, half HP already as Pizza Team looks to back away as they see Ray just on the horizon of that matchup. But right now, it's looking like Grindsky Eris. This is their domain. If you step foot, you could just punish. Really safe for now for both teams. 2 Divine Thunders for Grindsky, 3 Black Cleavers. Divine Thunder will give you a lot more HP and sustainability. And that is what Grindsky Eris needs. And on top of all that, when it comes to the damage output, Divine Thunder scales against the max HP of the opposing enemy that it hits. So up against Gragas, up against Jarvan 4, and even Diana of Pizza, this will be a great deal for Grindsky Eris to be able to impact the 5v5 matches. However, the Mountain Elder Drake will be up in 15 seconds, and Grindsky Eris and Pizza Team, if ever one of these teams will be able to secure this, will give them a huge edge in this matchup. So as of yet, Pizza is looking to play very safe, and Grindsky Eris is not risking to do something that could change the tides of this matchup, as they already have 3k gold lead in their pockets. They have the advantage in the series so far in the semifinals for game number 1. Grindsky Eris is just there. Pizza team is also there. Having that vision from both teams is going to be important on both objectives, and Pizza team has this information for them, but not for long. Gia just uses up the sweeper and gets the denying the ward, denying the vision there. Forcing out Ngok, forcing out the rest of the crew for Pizza to be able to respond here into the Dragon Pit. Scuttler secured by Grindsky Eris as they start the Mountain Elder Drake. But once again, could be a double bluff here for Grindsky as they did in the past. Could be just baiting Pizza come through the fight and engage, but they all have their ultimates ready for Pizza team, so they're going for it as Babby just jumps in into the fight. Ray down low, Moonfall already down. States his enchant though, or Angelila buy some time, a bit more time to be able to impact that Mountain Elder Drake, but for now, no one's taking it as Grindsky Eris will secure the Mountain Elder Dragon, will give them the true damage as they take 4 kills, make it 5 as they get the ace away from Pizza, and now they're able to look for the finish as every single one is down from Pizza. Grindsky is looking for the mid lane. They have the capacity to finish this game. Inhib is already down, Nexus is already open, and the minions are pushing in. And with Pizza getting ace just a while back, Grindsky strikes first in the semifinals. Fantastic game that Grindsky Eris has done here for game number 1. It was really stagnant for the early game up until the mid game as Grindsky was able to just play around and dance around the melody that Pizza team is doing. But Pizza looked fantastic there in the early game. They were looking for those kills, they were looking for those advantage, but with Grindsky being able to take 2 dragons already for their side in the first 5 minutes, first 15 minutes rather, they were just able to scale much further. And with Ray and Caitlyn, less of you being the dependent damage dealer for Grindsky Eris, they don't have to worry about the back lines that much, as Ray and less of you would have that ability rather to just dance around against Pizza team. But great game 1 for the semifinals here for FSL Wild Rift Open. All right, we're back. That was just a fantastic game number 1 once again. Wild Rift Open 2 here. We're already at the semifinals. Grindsky Eris, the undefeated team, the first seed in the Group A. The Pizza team being the second seed in Group B. So Grindsky Eris takes the first game here in the semifinals. Match point already up against Pizza team. If ever Pizza doesn't do anything, this will be their doom. Once again, I'm Infinity, and that is game number 1. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, it's game 2. Match point for Grindsky Eris here in the semifinals.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the FSL Wild Rift Open 2. I'm Tash Bunny alongside Infinity and we are your casters for tonight. I'm so sorry, just now I had to step up for one game where Infinity was just filling me on just the details in general, where just now we saw such a long game number 1.
Yeah, it was just a brawl, but not a quick brawl. It was a long brawl for everyone, for both teams, as it was like Pizza team getting the early game and Grindsky just playing the late game.
Honestly, it's actually really smart. I did catch up some little things as well. And what I could say about Grindsky is that they are a team that are very patient. Definitely not scared to play the less used champions for sure. I mean, we talked about supports, how like the top S tier right now is Yuumi, Nami, as well as Lulu. But looks like they made Janna work.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, because right now we're only seeing Karma as of yet in the mid lane, and I think Karma is just really strong, even as a support. It can give you a lot of these movement speed, and it enables a lot of champions such as the Ezreal and Jhin. And interestingly, we have Trinity Force buffed, right? In patch 3.1b, it gives you a lot more damage, it gives you a lot more HP damage from the Sheen. unique passive. So it's interesting how this would turn out. Is Ezreal going to go out here in the semifinals for Wild Rift Open, even tomorrow in the grand finals? I'm curious.
I'm actually curious too. I mean, when we think about WCS, I think Ezreal was definitely one of those ADCs that got picked toward the end because of the changes that came to some items as well. And when you think about it, Ezreal also does benefit from the new items, which was Divine Sunder, which I thought was very, very interesting. But I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah, it was a debatable or a debatable item. Are we going for like an IBG or Iceborne Gauntlet for more CC and more slow, but still giving you a lot more sustainability and damage as well? Or are you going for Divine Thunder? Or are you going for, Trinity Force, since right now it has been buffed? So there's just a lot of options for Ezreal at the moment. And I think when it comes to Triforce, it's just expensive. Divine Thunder, you just want more damage when it comes to tanks, and IBG is just CC. So just a huge disparity between the items.
Yeah,
Ezreal.
I think that's what's great about Ezreal. I mean, when you mentioned before, when you can definitely the same bans that we see on international tournaments that are out there right now, and I think both teams are very meta based. I would say when it comes to these sort of picks.
Yeah, and speaking of Karma, we're seeing Karma right now for the pizza team, which I definitely like to see.
I mean,
But
have you ever seen a Karma paired with a Oriana? Because I have.
Karma or Yana, no.
Mm.
But I've seen a Karma mid lane go with a Lulu bot lane.
Oh
And
wow.
Karma in the mid lane also be building like support.
Yeah, I think that's more of a funnel comp. But coming back to what I was talking about, Karma and Oriana, imagine the Shockwave as well as the Karma all just two pools all together. That is devastating, and that's a really big area that these two ults cover.
Yeah, and add in a Galio.
Oh man, I don't know what to say. That kind of comp just scares me. I see those pics and I'm just like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. But for now though, I mean,
if you
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, like if you're battling against that composition, might as well not go for any team fights at all.
just split push and just play a
Yeah.
different way because there's no point.
Split
There's
push
too
to
much
victory.
area of CC covered. But when you think right now though, I think Gragas is definitely one of the top picks. He's just so versatile. You can play him mid, you can play him support, you can play him. I've seen him play jungle, I've seen him play. Honestly, he
Oh.
can play anywhere. What did you think?
Definitely would be, because Gragas is just really strong. Like the body stam can give stun, it can give engage, and will also have a lot of engage disengage potential with the explosive cast. But what I woed about, quote unquote woed, is the Senna Nasus.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't seen this for the longest time, but in the past, in Icon series, probably in summer or fall split, Senna Nasus was just obliterating the meta in the dual lane. And I don't know if this
Yeah.
is going to be a Nasus top lane or Nasus bot lane, but it's interesting to see infinite scaling for both champions.
Yeah, that's right. Because Senna doesn't really need farm. She can just take from her passive those souls. And then for Nasus, he just take and stack whatever he needs. I did see Nasus picked once during WCS MYSG, and that was bad because how they wanted to play him was an aggressive push champion down on Dragon Lane. So I have yet to see a successful Nasus. But one thing that I'm very curious or just scared about in terms of Nasus is that it takes so long for him to come online. And most situations, a lot longer than even a Vayne could come online.
Oh yeah, definitely. Although interestingly enough, having this couple of discussions with you for FSL Wild Rift Open since the quarterfinals, I'm looking at a huge disparity between MYSG and Philippine region. Because Nasus in the Philippines, so when it comes to like the regular season, has been prevalent.
It's
Like, it
very
has been
different,
picked
right?
consistently. So it's just amazing to see. And Nasus in the regular season, in the same manner, did not see really a great run, but still
Mhm.
being picked up a couple of times.
Yeah, but honestly, I was talking to a pro team here in Malaysia, Singapore, and they said Femblewinter,
Hmm.
the item
Yeah.
on Nasus as first item is honestly really good. What is your opinion
Yeah.
on that?
Yeah, it definitely is. And especially right now with Fimble Winter having some adjustments, right? Before it gives you like mana, it gives you like ability haste, but now the passive gives you like HP for the mana that you have. So it's really, really nice for Nasus, considering that you're going for more of a tank Nasus that scales when it comes to damage and Q. Because really, when you only think about the Q, it already deals a lot of damage. And when you
Yeah.
build like a Fimbulwinter with IBG, CC, HP, tank, damage galore, everything above is going to be on a Nasus.
Yeah, that's right. But now you've seen the last pick here for Vayne, which is a Vayne, and you know Vayne is a very interesting situation. You either farm until you finally catch up in the late game, or you can snowball early if your teammates are able to set it up for you. But when you think about it again, I think this Vayne pick is great. When you go against Dunu Willem, when you go against Nasus, it's just so great for her to play around that. At the same time, she has a comp that can enable her or get her these picks that she really needs to snowball her early.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned about the team comp that will be able to help Vayne in the early game, especially Karma. I'm looking at Karma specifically because we talked about, right, in the quarterfinals when Karma has been picked, that the shield gives you movement speed. And
Yeah.
on top of all that, she has a lot of utilities. So having Vayne in the same lineup, having Vayne and Karma in the same lane will just give you movement speed for Vayne, will give you barrier and shield for Vayne when it comes to peeling and just defensive capacity. So it's really, really strong in the dual lane. So a lot of expectations there. And especially, as you stated, matched up against Yuna and Willem and Nasus expectedly are tanks. And Vayne's just gonna shred that HP down.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised that no one picked up Lulu since Lulu was actually available, and we all know the best support for Vayne or any other ADC actually is Lulu. I'm really interested to see how Karma will be able to do this. I mean, when you think about it again in terms of how Karma is, she provides, or she and Lulu provide kind of like the same thing that goes on, because right now we remember that Vayne was actually nerfed a little bit in terms of her movement speed, and I think that is also one reason why she's still viable, because she can be paired with these sort of supports. Either way, though, I still prefer seeing her with a Lulu because of the third skill, which gives her that extra damage. But I've yet to see how a Karma can do this. I can't imagine how it can actually help her with the positioning, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes eventually.
Yeah, and I think it's just a difficult situation for Pizza Team because when we looked at the pattern of the draft or the pacing of the draft, Karma was picked first or second by Pizza Team, and by then they don't have any other choice to pick Lulu because they already
Yeah.
picked Gragas as their third pick, I believe. And when Grindsky Eris was doing their picks, it was a Nasus Senna second and third pick. So they're just adjusting, going with the flow on what Grindsky Eris is doing, and I think it's just right now their most viable option. Karma Vayne
Yeah.
bot lane.
Yeah, I really I really gotta say, Dream, look at that damage that's coming in from her. And I like how proactive she is as well when it comes to making sure that she can put in as much damage to less of you. Because when she's low enough, it gives Vayne that how do I say this, that freedom to just go and tumble forward and go as aggressive as she wants to.
Absolutely. And right now, we're seeing the expectations that you set for us just a while back, right?
Yeah.
Gia building onto a Sapphire Crystal, most expectedly a Fimbulwinter to be their priority as the first pick. And then the second could be more of a flex. Could be IBG, could be Rylai's, depending on the situation. But for now, mid laners doing mid laners thing.
I thought that was something big happening when I saw the explosive cast come out. Guess that's not gonna be happening. But I am really happy to see more Nunu Willem, especially toward the end of the season right now, especially with some changes coming in. We do know that Nunu Willem is a huge playmaker, a huge play potential as well. And we do know, I think there was a buff, I believe, to his ultimate.
Could
Sub-Zero. Yeah, it was Sub-Zero. I think it was higher damage, but low early, high later. I believe it was. I think it's more of an adjustment than anything. And then sometimes when you think about patch notes, the thing is like they say, oh, it's a nerf, but then again, when you think about it, not really. But look at this, a choo-choo trade-off pain is coming. Vayne
Snowball,
tumbles out of
absolutely
there.
amazing coming from Grindsky, but just a tumble from Vayne, very quick with a flash as well. Back to safety immediately from that mist from Grindsky. And this is
How?
just the power of Senna. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. But look at that. He did a double. He was like, I'm not happy that she got out. I'm gonna make a U-turn and see if I can work again. But I think that ward really helped them. I think that's what we talk about in terms of like jungle control and proactive play styles, which really saved them at this point. Because they really need to take care of the Vayne to make sure that she doesn't fall off. Because like it or not, the only damage dealer in the team will be her as well as Kha'Zix. But it can also be the Gragas. Zunisha can do damage as well if she decides to go full on AP.
And it looks like it. He's going for potentially a Luden's Echo first item or a Roa, but Roa needs their build path. So Luden's Echo priority here for Zunisha. So as you stated, an AP build path here for Gragas for Pizza team. So another damage dealer there for Pizza alongside with Vayne. And when we looked back just a while back with Nunu going for Snowball, I think another thing that helped is with Karma with the slow on her poke. Just slowing Angelila, denying that Snowball, so it wasn't able to just fully scale, fully roll into a bigger Snowball.
You can't go do the choo-choo train of pain, but look at that, immediately. They're gonna try and go for a trade here, what do you think?
Daddy. Jumping onto Less of You, using out the flash immediately with a miss. Going back to safety. A great gank there from Babby.
Yeah, that's right, but not Angelila coming from the top here as well. So many people coming. How many people are coming bot lane here? Are you looking at this?
Yeah, they just have to punish Vayne. We talked about Vayne being the hyper care for Pizza. When it comes to the late game, Grindsky Eris is on a disadvantage. Now, Angelila use up the flash over the wall. No more flash for the Cloud Drake take. For now, no kills still. 4 minutes into the matchup.
Yeah, that's right. I really gotta say though, that rotation was amazing. They came down, helped bot, immediately rotate up and take Dragon.
Snowball will miss. Angelila is in the middle of the ulti with Karma. Senna ulti will give a little bit more shield, but Gragas will be able to secure the kill. The flash is already going to be burned. 2 for 1. Traded. The Grindsky Eris is looking for more as they take 3 away from Pizza.
Oh my god, that was just so well played. You did see Nunu try to put in that damage with the ultimate, but the problem is it takes a while for that channel to come through. Despite that though, it's just really surprising because one thing about GS is that yes, they did get the dragon, it was fine, but they made sure that they're gonna be punished for taking that dragon. We're gonna make sure that we can engage as much as we can, not giving them the breathing space they need.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm looking at right now is Wanheda. Akali building onto a Divine Thunder. And yes, it's normal. We've seen it in the past in WCS Philippine region with the Akali top lane having a Divine Thunder as a first item, but with the draft with the Senna Nasus in the same lineup and Nuna and Willem in the draft as well, you're relying on Akali to deal damage, and Divine Thunder is not really going to deal that much. But speaking of which, Karma is already down. Grindsky Eris has got the 1-for-1 trade with Vayne into the back lines. Blast Cone away into the Rift Herald pit, back to safety. Set 4-man phase breaker gets that CC up in the cost of his life. It's a 2-for-1 trade with the Rift Herald being secured by Pizza team, and so far Pizza has been showing up, but Grindsky as well. 5 kills.
Yeah, that's right.
6 minutes of the match.
I think that's just really interesting as well. You see how they're both playing. Pizza team is doing their best to just make sure they can grab all these objectives that they need. But meanwhile, Grindsky is saying, that's fine. We cannot contest it. Fine. We'll just make sure that we punish them for it. But look like Vayne gonna be in trouble, but Dream is always there to support her teammates back.
Yeah, just a Dream. Constantly supporting Vayne as they need to.
That's the
Vayne's
dream
their
we all
hyper-carry.
want. That's the dream we all want as ADCs. We want that kind of support. But no, my support not only steals my kills, but just leaves me for dead.
It's like a pocket Sage, right?
Yeah. Revive me, Sage. Heal me, Sage. No, you want to go play Battle Sage. What is that?
This is Battle Karma now. Talking about Wild Rift.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it as well, Karma, I think that's the flexibility Karma has. She can build full AP and still be useful. She can build full support and still be useful. The heals that come through, the damage that comes in. I think it's almost reminiscent of a Ziggs, but a nicer Ziggs, a less annoying Ziggs.
Yeah, a Ziggs that doesn't have
Heals.
A global ult.
Oh,
A global ult, more poke damage. No
Shields.
clear wave, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. But we are seeing that same trend coming in from both teams again. We're still seeing that. Well, I mean, I think from earlier, from how you said it, it was more of like a very passive gameplay from both teams. But now
Oh, yeah.
we're seeing a more, I wouldn't say like it's faster than just now, but I would just like to say that it's more of like they're more proactive compared to before. So you know sometimes how you always have round number one, it's always a slow game, it's always very one-sided. Is that getting
Yeah.
to know you icebreaker game? And then suddenly game two is like so different.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I don't know, they've already played like the icebreaker just a while back. Game number one, they're getting to know each other. I don't know what stage this is now for game number two in the semifinals.
Yeah, probably they
Could
are
be
probably
different.
know each other. I think the reason why they're hesitant is, I mean, maybe it's a warm up. First match of the day, who knows? But Dragon will be where they have their sights on.
Yeah, but look at Nock, waiting for the blast cone. And Pizza has this information now, jumping onto the Dragon Pit. Nock has his ultimate showstopper onto Angelila.
beautiful.
Now going for the smite, will be able to still secure it. Grindsky now going through and through, fighting this up against Pizza. Front face first. Pizza, but now they're separated as Kha'Zix falls and Gia on the front lines up against just the Dream. But Nock is there to support, there to respond. But there we go, the party is partying for Grindsky Eris as they just help Grindsky Eris to be able
Oh!
to secure that kill. Now Less of You is in trouble as Anisha and Vayne is there to be able to take more out of Grindsky, but will not be able to secure it, as that will just be a 3 for 2 trade? 3 for 1 trade?
Yeah, I'm actually just so surprised because when you look at Vayne, her positioning is just very, very aggressive. If we saw just now as well, what they did was that Karma and Vayne went up and went 2-on-1 against the Akali, not allowing her to come into the backlines and grab those picks that she wants, thus zoning them out. Usually when we think about zoners, we think about Set, we think about, about Gragas, but instead we're
Garen.
seeing, yeah, Garen. But this time we saw the ADC and her support say, nah, we're not allowing the Akali to go even close to them. We're gonna deny them from the damage that they really, really need. And I think that's one of the downsides of having a, what do you call it? A Senna. Because you're not having that fast sort of attack, and suddenly, look at this. Immediately,
Yeah.
Vayne's just popping off.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Grindsky Ares, we're seeing their draft, it's infinite scaling, Senna, Nasus needs that late game. But at the same time, Pizza Team also is looking for the late game.
the
Vayne
Vayne.
scales really hard in the late game, so I don't know how this would turn out.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think they even have to go super late game because right now their Vayne is online. They're already pretty much ahead. She has all the kills that she needs. Oh!
Yeah, absolutely. Now, explosive cast. Grindsky Esports is now separated. Karma ulti will be there as well. Zanisha is very low as Senna will be able to secure the kill. Grindsky Ares though will have Vayne locked in onto the backside. You're too far ahead. Pizza will lose their hyper carry in their mid laner as Grindsky Ares secures the 2-0.
I'm just surprised. That's why I mentioned just now about Vayne. Yes, she's very aggressive. Yes, she knows how to position herself. But sometimes in that kind of situations, like it or not, Vayne is still a very squishy ADC. She needs her support. She's not waiting for them, going just a little bit too far ahead of herself.
Yeah, and I think that was a bit of a mistake for Pizza because they're looking for Vayne. They're looking and depending on Vayne in the total. And yes, they have all these kills, 3-0-0 just a while back, but when you just go into the backside and just get picked off by the enemy team, you're giving the gold bounty to them, plus you're losing a lot of your damage as an overall perspective for your whole team. So it's a difficult situation there for Vayne at that moment, but right now he's building potentially onto a Phantom Dancer for more sustainability.
Yeah, we all know the changes to Phantom Dancer is very, very annoying as well on how it executes and just stops that damage from just going for a full burst. But look at that right now. They don't want to take this fight against the Akali, at least not head on. So they already pretty much already suspected that Angelila might be coming down to help out, because we talked about it in the previous game earlier as well, or match rather, how when you see someone alone, there is always going to be someone lurking close by to collapse.
Definitely. Right now, instead of a Nasus going for IBG or Triforce or Divine Thunder, it's a Leandris Nasus. So it's an AP Nasus.
Wow, an AP Nasus. Never thought I'd see that in competitive. By the way, I gotta commend these players for being very, very creative, and I think that's the beauty of Wild Rift though. But if you look at that, mid lane is what they want to siege right now. So
Grindsky, Eris, Senna with a good route there. Coming to the backside, it's going to be set, going for the showstopper onto one header, but now he's locked in. He's pinned down as Grindsky, Eris already takes two. Now Absolute Zero. Pizza team will go back to safety, but not safe enough as Babby's now down low. Snowball from Angela Layla. Zone away, enemy team. As Vayne can't do nothing here up against Grindsky as they take the tier 2 mid lane.
I think that's also one of the downfalls here for their Vayne, is the fact that while she was ahead early, when it comes to Grindsky, they're just so good when it comes to the team fights. They just know how to play together. I mean, earlier we did just talk about in terms of positioning, and I think that's the problem here. When you have a Vayne who's just a little bit too aggressive, playing on her own, playing to the point that your teammates cannot keep up with you, that's going to be a problem. And also another thing that I really want to point out here when it comes to Grindsky is that how they start off the team fight. They will just poke you as much as they can. That's the beauty of having, you know, a Senna, having a Jace. They can just put in as much damage or just poke as they can, and by the time the turret is down, they can go all in if they want to because of the Senna Shroud.
Yeah. And that's just the power of it, right? Angelila can just build up the snowball in the mist. And Pizza doesn't have any information. How many are there in the mist?
How big is the snowball in the mist?
Yeah.
What's gonna be coming out of that? You have no clue.
Now, it's Grindsky going for the Baron Nashor. Will be able to secure it. And Pizza has to retreat. They have to. They have to defend, because if not, if Grindsky gets those kills, gets the ace, we'll be able to punish Pizza. Just happened from game number 1, and now Babby just remains on the ground. A nail in the coffin as Grindsky, Eris with a Baron Nashor is looking for the finish with inhibitor left in the mid lane.
I am just so frustrated right now because from what it looks like from Pizza team, it looks so good in the beginning. They looked pretty much unstoppable, especially since they took care of their Vayne so well. They made sure that she was able to have that snowball potential. But the problem is, it just comes down to positioning. That micro, the macro play is just so much better from the side of Grindsky, seeing on round number 2 compared to round number 1.
That's GG's. The semifinals, Grindsky, Eris will take it home. The undefeated team is still here in FSL Wild Rift Open 2. Still dominating the upper bracket, going to the grand finals for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right, but I really feel so bad for Babby. It's that situation where we talked about having a Kha'Zix, that pick situation. If you're not able to get those picks, suddenly you're rendered very irrelevant. Because when you have a Kha'Zix in a team fight and your team is just getting picked off one by one, and this includes your frontliners, what can you do? Nothing. You're just going down with the whole team. And while the Vayne was able to get 3 kills early, the fact of the matter is, what can a Vayne do against 5 stacked teams who are able to play together? A 1 versus 5 gets you nowhere.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I feel like if Vayne, if Pizza team as an overall team had played it longer, they could have definitely won up against Grindsky Eris. Because Vayne is just too powerful in the late game.
Yep, absolutely. Honestly, when I think about it again, Vayne was pretty much already online and okay. The problem is, I think it comes down to teamwork. I think what's going on here is, I think this this is something I saw as well in Malaysia and Singapore as well. When you see a Vayne player, they're very aggressive. It's to the point that Just a Dream was just not able to keep up with her to keep her safe. And once your ADC gets separated with your other members of your team, like say your Gragas, say your Karma, you can't really do much because you can't protect her. She can't really safely put out that damage as much as she wants to.
Yeah. And Vayne doesn't really have the longest of range when compared to other ADCs, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was just also a caveat when it comes to picking up Vayne. You need to hyperscale and you need to go into the front lines a bit more than other ADCs.
Yep, that's right. But we already have our teams that will be going on to the grand finals tomorrow. So let's have a look here. But I'm really excited to know though. When you see here, Grindsky, Eris, Pizza Team 2-0. And then after that, we saw just now in GGTY, who already went against NSL earlier, 1-1 as well. So after this, we gotta see who Grindsky will be going up against, either GGTY or NSL.
And it's interesting. We've seen how GGTY played just a while back up against Lorem Ipsum. Their macro was phenomenal. Their playstyle is great. So we'll see how that will turn out for them up against NSL. As right now, it's still ongoing. So 1-1. Grand finals, I don't know how Grindsky will turn out. Are they still going to remain undefeated?
Yeah, that will be the question for now. Either way, though, guys, don't forget tomorrow will be the grand finals. Make sure to follow us over on the FSL platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and everything else in between to know exactly when all our matches will be happening. Be it Wild Rift, will it Valorant, everything else in between. And by the way, this tournament is not possible without our sponsors.
Yahoo and Intel. Shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for supporting this tournament. FSL Wild Rift will not be possible without you.
Yep, that's right. So for now, let's have a look at again, like what exactly we'll be seeing tomorrow. We don't know exactly who the second team is gonna be, but if you could kind of like guess which team will be going forward, or if you could choose which team will be going forward, who would you choose?
It's difficult because I wasn't able to see NSL's play, so I can't really decide from that.
But
But
it's a 1-1, so you can tell that both teams are equally matched.
yeah,
Just from
I
that,
don't have a
right?
clue.
I'm really excited to see as well because GGTY was just absolutely phenomenal. Love their gameplay, love their style as well in terms of macro and micro. But it's just really, really unlucky as well when you look at last game as well between a Pizza as well as Grindsky. Because when you think about those two teams, I think it just comes down to not just macro and micro, but rather it's already the compositions and how they want to play with those compositions. End of the day, the whole thing that matters is just execution.
Yeah, absolutely. Because every single one of these teams are right now the best of the best here at FSL Wild Rift Open. That was just an amazing quarterfinals and semifinals. We've seen Grindsky, Eris, we've seen GGTY. We'll see tomorrow how these teams will perform. Can Grindsky still remain at the top, be undefeated here at FSL? I'm Infinity, and
that's
this is
right.
Cash Bunny, your casters for Wild Rift Open 2. And see you guys tomorrow.